All right, so now we're fully loaded up. We have gotten past that spectator delay, so we'll be moving into game quite quickly.
Aha, here we are. So we do see Curse Gaming over here is going to be your blue team. Meanwhile, on the top, Orbit Gaming going to be your red side. Ladies and gentlemen, colorblind mode is on, so if we refer to them as purple team or red team, that is going to be Orbit Gaming regardless. We do want to just really quickly point out, we do see that Liquid is playing Jungle Maokai. It's not actually Liquid. We are going to be having St. Vicious playing on Liquid's account. There's a little bit of a difficulty of St. Vicious logging on to his own account, so Liquid is going to be the account for St. Vicious to use this time. So if you see Liquid roaming through the jungle, don't worry, they didn't drop St. Vicious that quickly.
Yeah, and let's take a look. I don't think we're going to see any early game shenanigans. Looks like St. Vicious is just going to want to stack some saplings over at the race and then head to the blue buff. But on the other hand, Orbit now coming in for that stealthy kind of blue steal, and we'll have to see if they manage to pick somebody off. I wonder if they're just going to take it, Tom, or if they're actually going to sit there and wait for Maokai to come up. Going to Tribrush, checking it with that Mystic Shot.
We're going to see also if Orbit's just going to go down and place a ward so they know when Maokai is going over to here, so they could potentially have a 3-man gank between their jungler, their top lane, and their mid lane on Maokai. He is one of those champions that does have a little bit of a slow start because of that sapling bust. Normally you'll see teams going over here to try to stop the saplings from getting the rates or getting the wolves. We do see Orbit Gaming is going to be coming here by the blue buff potentially just to deny that and deny the wolf start. Meanwhile, Curse has very wisely come over here to the more common rate start, and it looks like Maokai is going to be okay, but he's not actually putting any... There we go, putting the first sapling down. About 1 minute and 20 is where you want to hit that one so you can get the full stacks over there. Meanwhile, Orbit Gaming pings going down galore. They actually did drop a ward over here by the blue buff, so that is all they're going to do, and then potentially just back off.
Yeah, and if you saw, Westrice actually managed to discover the hiding spot of Orbit right there. I thought they were being very, very clever, but apparently they have been discovered, so they're just going to go ahead and take the wolves and probably the blue buff of Curse, and looks like St. Vicious will just transition and pick up that red buff instead.
Now, Maokai is a jungler that is a little dependent on the blue buff because he does use a lot of mana to spam spells. Actually see someone drawing aggro over here from the Lizard for Maokai to help get a little bit of a burst on here. We're not going to see any potentially early shenanigans out of St. Vicious because he is not going to have that blue buff, and he did use the smite. Not going to be able to go in and counter jungle against the blue buff or anything. Lee Sin, same kind of thing. A blue buff start, not necessarily the quickest start for Lee Sin. He doesn't really have any mana, and his cooldowns aren't terrible. Blue buff isn't bad on him. However, you're not going to see a lot of early ganks without that red buff.
Yeah, absolutely, and now the players are moving into their lanes. Looks like Hai is just going to go ahead and blue pill immediately to get back into his own jungle. St. Vicious is going to blue pill as well with that red buff to get a little healing, and then we will see them return to their jungles. Not too much trading going on in bottom lane or in top lane quite yet.
No, actually, this is just a little bit of a passive farming phase right now. Like we said, a lot of these matchups are a little bit more farm-oriented. We do have Morgana and Karthus in the middle lane. Not going to see a lot of aggression out of either of those AP mid champions. We have a couple pings going down on bottom. Ezreal is going to have a lot of mobility and poke, especially with the infuse from Soraka giving a lot of mana. However, Cop on Urgot is going to be able to poke back here, so we're going to have a lot of missed Qs going back and forth between Ezreal and Urgot. Nothing too much as a form of aggression until we really see jungle presence.
Yeah, no, I entirely agree with you, Tom. Especially that mid lane is going to be a very passive farm lane. That's the way that Nijacki's going to want to play it. And although I have to say that Orbit, Nubby Pooh Bear, probably going to want to try and get a few ganks, but of course Maokai being the stronger ganker in this matchup, generally speaking, St. Vicious is going to go ahead and drop a ward for Westrice up there in top lane so that he's not going to be facing any early Lee Sin ganks.
No, a very smart move there from St. Vicious. He did get a little bit of a slower start on his jungle because he doesn't have that blue buff on him, so he isn't going to be able to go as quickly through and get a level 4 gank where Maokai really decides to shine. Lee Sin, on the other hand, he can gank basically at level 2, as I mentioned, with a red buff. He can gank a lot sooner, even with a blue buff, as a Maokai choice could. So very smartly warding up there, keeping the top lane safe because he knows that Akali is going to be dominating Vladimir with Vladimir's very early weak game.
Yeah, we are seeing Curse attempting trades in this bot lane, but every time Nien will just flash out and then get healed up immediately by Astral Blessing. So not really successful trading. You know, I think Curse wanted this lane to be a lot more aggressive, but that Ezreal really doing a lot of work to prevent that and farm up to where he can do damage. And if we look, Nubby Pooh Bear looks like he's going to be moving, shifting into that top lane.
I don't exactly know about that. I think he was just getting a little bit of a leash for Lee Sin there to get that red buff. That way he doesn't have to actually burn through. He didn't have smite up, so he was going over the leashes, so he didn't have to use that or wait for it to come off cooldown and take unnecessary damage. It's a very smart heads-up team play there from Nubby Pooh Bear coming out of the mid lane. Not necessarily anything going to happen because of that. His lane was pushed out far enough already, so there's no possibility for aggression in the farm lane anyway.
Yeah, and we do see, looks like Hai is going to be coming around for a lane gank here. I wonder how far they're willing to push their luck here. Lee Sin, of course, being able to see through Akali's Twilight Shroud, so that's going to be a big advantage on the ganks here. She's not going to be able to hide from Yuzuki. Here comes the Twilight Shroud. What is he going to do? She's going to attack Yuzuki now, coming in, laying down a bit of damage on him, but Hai not coming in quite yet.
Super patience coming out here from Hai. They don't want to reveal anything at all. Yuzuki is just playing as he would if Akali, he was not getting a gank up here from Lee Sin. However, because of that Tides of Blood stack he's keeping up, he's constantly pushing the lane back, so potentially Lee Sin just wasting a little bit of time here, does eventually go out of the bush, reveal himself there, so he doesn't want to waste too much time. Did have a little bit of an advantage over Maokai in the jungle, so he wants to make sure he stays at least on par, if not keeping that advantage.
And let's see, Hai now dropping a ward at that jungle ramp, preventing St. Vicious from coming that way without getting noticed, and Hai still waiting for this gank up top. He is waiting a long time, Tom.
Not necessarily the best move at all. He does have a red buff, though, so he does want to try to get some kills while he has that. Walking directly over a ward while he went to place his own a little ironically, so he's not going to get a lot out of that. He is going to go back, want to take in his golems again. That's how long he's actually waited. He killed those golems before going for the lane gank, and they've respawned already. So that's about a minute and a half he's been waiting that top lane for a gank.
And it actually looks like we're going to see some early damage on Yuzuki. He's going to get away with that Ignite on him. He did have his Sanguine Pool up, so no kill there for Westrice, and Ignite now down. He's going to take a risk and stay. Hai is now in that brush, and here comes the Karthus ult.
No dice right there. There was a little bit of heal going on from Vladimir, so he's not going to be taken down yet. But look at this positioning up here. Everybody is in a different brush in top lane. Both members of Orb are going to look like potentially a recall here. Westrice is going to do that as well. So potentially a lot of aggression, a little bit of a chance for killing Vladimir up there, but too much healing on the Vampire. And everybody's just basically going to live in top lane. Yeah, we're seeing St. Vicious play Maokai very passively. This is not typically how we see Maokai played. Usually he goes for those early ganks before 6 when he gets that twisted advance up in order to secure those kills, especially very aggressive flash-twisted advance maneuvers frequently used by jungle Maokais. We see it a lot from Snoopé from CLG EU. Very interesting, too, because St. Vicious has been known to be quite aggressive out of the jungle. Smart aggression, but still aggressive regardless. He's playing extremely passively. I don't know if that's just because of the start he got or because of how Curse exactly wants to play this game. It's a little perplexing to me as well because I'm used to seeing Curse go out, start making plays usually before the 10-minute mark, but still just content of playing very passively. Perhaps since Orbit Gaming has also been known to have a lot of aggression in the early stages of the game, both teams are trying to bait each other into being over-aggressive right now.
And that second blue of the game going to go to Nijaki on Karthus, and by the way, their red up is up now as well. Of course, St. Vicious getting that, and they're going to go for a fast dragon actually. Orbit moving down, and I don't think that Curse is none the wiser.
No ward coverage whatsoever coming out from Curse over here. They're completely in the dark. The only thing they see is Lee Sin after the dragon has been taken down. So that is the first little advantage of this game going in favor of Orbit Gaming. Curse in the meantime, though, they have a decent amount of farm. Even though they're down a dragon right now, it's only about 600 or 700 gold behind. It's not necessarily a big deficit at all, especially in the early stages of the game.
And if we look at how mid lane is going, again, I was saying earlier about how Karthus likes to play against Morgana typically because it allows him to farm up, and Nijaki already taking a 13 CS lead by 8 minutes. That is a significant difference, totaling up almost to a kill at this point, and a very large difference before 10 minutes if you are at this professional level of play.
Yeah, we did take a quick look at the gold tab on screen, meanwhile, and we did see that he's actually ahead in gold of Morgana, despite Morgana having that global dragon gold. So that is just how powerful the farm lane of Karthus can be. We do want to mention also, Nijaki has his blue buff. Morgana just going to get that right now. We did have Hai taking his own blue buff at a later point in time because the early invade secured it to make sure Maokai was unable to steal it away from him. So therefore, Morgana gets a little bit of a later buff. We do have Ezreal ultimate coming out in the bottom lane, but it was just the farm. Urga actually didn't take a lot of damage, didn't take any damage whatsoever. So but everything's being very passive. It's very opposite of how I expect this game to go. We do have Akali in the top lane going down on Yuzuki. There's a lot of damage coming out with the ultimate here. Yuzuki is going to have to back off towards the tower, and Westrice being very aggressive. His lane's pushed all the way over here too. So just that powerful Akali against Vladimir matchup, Monty.
Yeah, and Curse also really wanted this lane to be more aggressive. I've been spending a lot of time looking at it down here, and Elements keeps trying to get that pulverized headbutt combo down onto Nien, but they're not getting it because every time he pops out of the bush, you see Soraka played by Lemonation, just simply hitting him with an Unfuse and silencing him immediately. And as for this matchup in top lane, Westrice's Ignite is now back up, so might see some more aggressive play. Yuzuki just going to go ahead and stick around. He has been doing a good job of farming through this early game against some early aggression. Here he comes again. Westrice trying to get out, pulls that Ignite, and will dive under turret. That Karthus ult will finish Yuzuki off for that first blood.
That is a very, very smart play there by Curse Gaming. Just because Akali wasn't able to burst down Vladimir doesn't mean he can't give the kill to his teammates. So doing just enough damage for Nijaki to seal the deal with a kill, as he's taking his wolves as well. So that's just the power of a Karthus pick. The global presence, ever threatening, giving first blood to Karthus in a farm lane, also a very good idea. Bot lane, though, we have a little bit of aggression going on between Cop and 9, but nothing else really going on right there. Just a little bit of trades, but the heals from both support characters going to keep them in the game there.
Yeah, you know, I really think the only lane we're going to see that active aggression in is going to be top. And of course, Vladimir was a bit ahead in CS. He still is. And Vladimir, generally considered weak in the early laning phase, doesn't really kind of get going till he gets that Hex Tech, which he has just gone back and purchased, and gets some higher levels into his Transfusion and his Tides of Blood.
Very interesting enough, we have Vladimir and Akali going for the same kind of item build up here. Both of them have health potions, both of them have sorcery shoes. In addition to this, they both have their Hex Tech revolver. So identical builds coming out from here. Of course, Akali has a little bit more burst damage, whereas Vladimir has a little more sustained damage. So Akali's going to have a little bit of the upper hand, but Lee Sin, once again, wanting to come in for these bush gangs, hiding around in these trees, does not want to get spotted, but
St. Like Vicious here as well.
Flashing in with the Twisted Advance on Yuzuki, does pull to get out of there. There's the Maokai ultimate as well. Lots of damage going down onto both Westrice and High. High's getting very, very low. Has to flash out of there, and there's going to be a kill there onto Maokai. St. Vicious picking that one up. Akali does have to flash out of there to try to get away. Yuzuki not going to have enough damage on Vladimir to seal the deal there.
And that was really tragic because Hemo Plague was actually down at the time, so he wasn't able to ult to magnify that damage and get some more damage onto the members of Curse. So very well timed gank there by Curse while Hemo Plague was down to take advantage of that situation and secure another kill onto High in that lane.
And that was the first aggression we've seen since from St. Vicious all game, so very nice to see that he's actually just not playing passively in the jungle. He does want to go in there and get kills if they're presented to him. That is once again the smart aggression. They probably realized the Vladimir ultimate was down. Akali did probably see it being used against him, so very, very smart play there from Curse, and we have them picking up another kill, 2-0 right now over Orbit Gaming.
By the way, Tom, if we look at St. Vicious's build real quick, we'll see that he's actually going 3 gold per 5 items. So his strategy here in the jungle was not to gank early, simply to farm, to buy those gold per 5 items as fast as possible so that he could maximize his gold going into the late game.
This would be very interesting, actually. He is going to be able to build stuff such as Shurelya's Reverie, potentially going for a Randuin's Omen off of those gold per 10 items as well. He does have a Kage's Lucky Pick. Maybe see Deathfire Grass, not necessarily the best, but there's a swap going down from Urgot onto Ezreal. Wow, look at the Twisted Advance following through the Arcane Shift there. Karthus ultimate goes down. There's a Maokai ultimate. Headbutt Pulverize combo going down onto Ezreal. That is another kill for St. Vicious. Soraka does not look long for this world either, and she will go down to Urgot.
And that's the danger that you're seeing right now of this Urgot-Karthus combo, the swap giving Karthus a lot of time in order to get that ult off, and it can just be the straw that broke the camel's back, as it were, if you're being chased down lane by these 3 players in bot lane, and of course with St. Vicious being the third coming in for the gank. So really nice coordination that we're seeing from Nijaki, and Soraka's Wish went down in that fight as well, but it still was not enough to clinch that victory in bot lane for Orbit or even save any of the players.
And we do have actually High coming around in the jungle. Does get spotted by a ward, placing his own down in the enemy jungle. So a little bit of aggressive warding there. That does mean that Orb is going to try to get some map presence to get themselves back into this game. They are down by 4 kills right now, but only about 2,000 gold separating these two teams. Ooh, a Karthus wall barely missing Morgana right there. Westrice's Akali is not going to be able to break through that black shield from Morgana as well. Very interestingly enough, I want to point out, since Nijaki does have that kind of matchup he wants against Morgana, he's going to be able to sit there and farm, able to get extremely fast Rod of Ages. Had this, I believe, before 12 minutes, not going for any GP10s or anything else, just straight Rod of Ages.
Yeah, and he didn't have to go for any of the gold per 10 items, nor did he have to go for any early Dorn's Rings or anything like that, because Morgana simply isn't a threat to burst him down. So getting that early Rod of Ages is simply going to be a boon for him in late game. We have some pings going on right now. Let's see what happens as St. Vicious gets knocked around by Nubby Pooh Bear and High. Will they actually be able to pick this up? No, Nijaki can kind of come in with Defile and pick up both of those kills. Westrice coming in and dashing for the kill onto High.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have on the bottom lane a lot of aggression going down. It's Elimination and 9. They are going to get the heal going off from Soraka right there. Ultimate goes down from Elements to tank the tower shots. Cop will pick up a kill. Akali coming in from the side and assassinating down Ezreal. Ignite will pick up the last ticks of a kill there. Just great positioning by Curse as they go to take the the dragon and a victory of another team fight.
Yeah, and this will stretch the gold lead to about 4,000. And if we take a look right now, Nijaki 165 to Nubby Pooh Bears 127. You know, Tom, I think that what we're seeing here is Orbit just straight up getting outpicked.
I kind of have to agree with this, and their top lane matchup is not at all what they wanted to see. Morgana against Karthus, like we mentioned before, also not exactly the best matchup in the world right there. Just a lot of farm going down from Nijaki. Morgana, she isn't roaming around like I think Orb wants her to at this point in time. She is going to have to just sit back and farm against that Karthus, just try to keep up with him. But Karthus has the global presence of his ultimate. You mentioned it time and time again. It's keeping Curse way ahead in this game. Even despite that jungle invade early on and trying to keep Maokai down, St. Bitch has done a really great job of putting himself back in this game. He's being a lot more aggressive than Lee Sin too. I haven't seen Lee Sin gank any other lane except for top.
Right, and you know, we also see what's even more staggering about this is that we're seeing Lemonation taking Summoner heal on Soraka. You know, what that says is that, you know, Orbit's not interested in early aggression. What they're interested in doing is farming up Nien as hard as possible, and that just hasn't happened. You know, he is up a little bit in farm, but he's down in kills. He's 0-2-0 compared to Urgot's 2-0-2 at this point. And let's take a look at the gold difference right now. 46.50 onto Urgot and 42.30 onto Ezreal. So there is about a 450 gold difference there between the two AD carries, and that's just not what you want to see if your strategy is to get farmed up in that bottom lane.
Uh-oh, Westrice is going to be going in here onto Yuzuki, but he's getting into a bait of a gank. They're dark binding from Morgana all the way from the mid lane. The ultimate goes down, actually picking up the kill there as well. So now, Orbit Gaming kicking their rears in gear right there. We do have a little bit of an Ezreal ultimate going down on the bot lane as well. Guess that was just kind of to seal the deal, but it's not going to hit anything whatsoever. But still, Orb counteracting the fact that Kurt's been dominating all game, coming back and picking up their first kill of the match. And
Nijaki now up 50 CS by the 16-minute mark on his lane opponent, Nubby Pooh Bear. That is going to be a lot of gold in difference. And let's see, and actually, Wall of Pain going right down on Nubby Pooh Bear is going in on Morgana.
Yeah, Karthus getting very aggressive. You're already down below half HP. Nubby Pooh Bear trying to dodge those late waves, but Nijaki doing a really great job of predicting movements. That is going to have Morgana back off right there. Has to farm up the tower with her pool over there. We do see in the meantime St. Vicious on the bot lane. They took the first tower. They want to go aggressive and take the second one right here. This is going to either show, is Orb going to be able to push this back by themselves, or are they going to get a little out of position? Nope. They're actually just going to do this. Meanwhile, Nijaki seals the deal for the tower in the mid lane. So Curse pushing on all fronts, picking up a tower that is 2 towers to 1 now. They're ahead in kills, ahead in towers, ahead in gold, and ahead in the game.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how well this Orbit team goes into the team fights because, you know, with the extra magic resist that they're going to get from Soraka's passive, in addition to the Black Shield, they should be able to fare relatively well against Curse in these team fights. And Curse being sneaky little snakes in the bush right now.
Oh, Twisted Advance and a Wall of Pain go down on the high, and that is a world of hurt. I don't know if the Urgot ultimate was necessary there, but it does snag Lee Sin, and another kill goes to St. Vicious.
So, Tom, since they do have Karthus, you think that's going to be a Baron? They probably actually don't have the AD damage to take him out. Urgot building that early Glacial Shroud and going to be picking up a fast Frozen Heart. So even with Karthus, they probably won't have the damage necessary to pick up that Baron at this point in time.
No. They actually have a lot of ability power damage. You see over here, meanwhile, Akali is trading very effectively still against Izuki's Vladimir up here. Vladimir actually having to build a Negatron Cloak, which is what I want to point out. Going for Abyssal Scepter first. Curse does have a lot of AP damage. Their only AD damage is really going to be in the form of Urgot. That's about it. Akali does deal a little bit of hybrid damage, but she's mostly bursting with the magic damage as well. So if Orb can draw this out into the later game like they want to, and do build up enough magic resistance and health to give them enough effective HP, it could be very beneficial. Look at the ultimate and the flash from Westrice to dodge. Another flash and a dodge of a Dark Binding right there. Westrice invisible in the middle of everybody right now. Does actually wind up going down to everybody else around him, though. There's just too much AoE damage going down. And 4 members have to take out Westrice in top lane. That just means, what is Curse doing around the map?
Yeah, actually, the Lee Sin, Tempest, and Cripple did reveal Akali in that Twilight Shroud, and that is the strategy that Orb is trying to use to counter that Akali pick. So I don't know exactly what I think that Orbit can do to come back right now. It'll depend on their team fight and whether they can get some good ults off onto Curse and whether they can avoid that Urgot swap, I do believe.
One thing they have done to try to get themselves back into the game is Lee Sin has picked up an Oracle's Elixir. This double duties as a way to reveal Akali, as an additional way to clear out wards. So if they're going to be able to win the Vision War, then Orb will have a great idea of where Curse is and when, and how they're going to be able to respond to that in a global presence on the map. Lee Sin, in the meantime, taking a lot of damage from Karthus in the mid lane, has has to actually go away to his own allies to force Karthus back right there. That's just the power of Karthus. I mean, Morgana was trying to farm in the lane against him. Don't necessarily know if that was the best idea because we saw Karthus picking up kills with his ultimate. Morgana only able to pick up 1 or 2 when she started roaming. I think they kind of wanted Morgana roaming a little bit earlier in order to kind of balance out the fact that Karthus was picking up kills of his own.
Yeah, again, I'm just so impressed with St. Vicious's Maokai play. You know, I think that it's a really interesting pick because normally I'm sure Orbit is used to playing against aggressive Maokais early, so they might have been playing more passive. Concerned that St. Vicious was around, but St. Vicious playing some mind games and just farming up for those 3 gold per 10 items instead of those early ganks, and that has given him all the advantage.
Ooh, and this is one of the things Curse loves to do, bait Baron. Cleared out the vision, know that Orb are going to want to come in here. They actually start the Baron, don't really know if they wanted to do that or not, but they're just going to go right in here. They do spot Lemonation, putting a ward over the wall with the sapling. Morgana comes in, she has the Dark Shield on, she is going to pop the ultimate. Ezreal ultimate going down the line of Curse. Curse is in a really bad spot right here. Elements pops the ultimate, but will go down to Ezreal. Looks like Tidus is in a very bad spot. Vladimir meanwhile is going to pick up a kill on Karthus and Akali, and then another kill goes down from Ezreal. Saraki even picking up a kill right there. That is an ace at Baron. Orb just took them down 5-0, and they're going to net Baron out of this one.
Oh my god, well I think we know how these team fights are going to go right now. That was an amazing play by Orbit to come right back into this game, and check it out, Optimus Tom. They're now only 2,000 gold down. They have Baron, they have an advantage. They will be able to get some turrets off of this. Element's coming up in 3 seconds, but he's not going to be a threat. Wow, what a play by Orbit, and you can see the power of their AoE ults. Like I said earlier, they're going to need that Morgana and Vladimir ult, both of them up in order to engage, and a beautiful play by Nubby Pooh Bear using that Zhonya's to keep him alive in the middle of Curse.
That is just an excellent play, exactly what Orb wanted. Not only do they ace Curse, they get the Baron buff, they take down the Dragon, and like you said, gold accounts all but even right now. It's about a 600 gold advantage for Curse, but they really threw that one away, and now Orb has the tools they need to come back. They have the gold, they have the Baron buff. If Curse wants to get aggressive, Orb is going to be a lot stronger than ever before they have been in this game, so Curse really can't just run around on them like they have been. If Orb gets caught out of position, well, of course, that's going to be terrible for Orb, but Curse really needs to start playing a little bit smarter. Like I said, they wanted to bait that Baron out. I don't think they wanted to start it there. Curse has been known to be one of those teams that loves doing the Baron dance, just wandering around and trying to get teams to overcommit and then going in, but Curse kind of overcommitted themselves in there, and now, you know, it's pretty much even.
Startlingly, we're seeing only a 900 gold difference and a 9-7 kill score for Orbit, so they are definitely right back in this one. And if they can continue to duplicate their success, just the amount of heal that's coming off of Orbit right now, the double Summoner's heals from Yazuki and Lemonation just doing work against Karthus. That's going to be so clutch when he comes in with those defiles.
The one thing is, however, Yuzuki did have to buy that Abyssal Scepter first, so he does not have the Will of the Ancients yet, which means that they don't have that synergy between their 2 AP characters. Meanwhile, Akali has picked up the Hextech Gunblade, so she's going to be able to sustain herself very, very well that way. Not picking up a Will of the Ancients for Karthus, not necessarily a champion that needs it. Karthus is going to run in and die anyway, so you really don't necessarily need the Spell Vamp as much as, say, a Vladimir and a Morgana will want to synergize with that together. So Orbit, they did wind up building to counteract what Curse had immediately. We're going to have to see if that's going to be a long-term choice and see if it is going to work out for them in the end, because right now it's very good. Lee Sin actually coming in behind the tower here, goes all the way on the west side. It's a little overcommitment, and there goes Alistar knocking everybody a mile backwards, like you said before, Monte Cristo. Akali picking up a kill right there. Not the champion you want to be feeding.
Not the champion you want to be feeding at all, although she only has 3 kills at this point, so she's not too fed yet. You know what I have to say, actually, is that I'm a little bit surprised. You know, you normally don't see Abyssal Scepter on Karthus, and Karthus was very far ahead in the laning phase, which might be why he didn't buy it, but Abyssal Scepter going to be a pretty strong choice right now coming into all this AoE AP damage that Orbit's going to be putting off from Vladimir and Morgana.
It's going to be very, very interesting as well. Ezreal's ultimate actually deals magic damage. So
that's true as well.
Also going to help against that. In the meantime, it's going to be shredding down the magic resistance. For Karthus, he has the Wall of Pain to do this as well. Maokai's damage is actually magic damage, and like I said before, burst damage from Westeros' Akali going to be all magic damage. So this is pretty much a magic show going on right here. I could probably make some sort of card joke right here, but you'd probably yell at me for it.
I would yell at you, Tom. and looks like, look at Night Jackie, right as I say that, he goes back, picks up that Negatron Cloak. I'd bet you $100 to everybody on this stream that that's going to be an Abyssal Scepter soon.
Well, hopefully he goes for a Banshee's Veil, and I'm a lot of a richer man, Monte Cristo, because I will take that bet for you. But still, Orb does have this Baron buff on 4 of their members, so Curse is playing a little bit passively. You know, like I said before, if Orb overextends, well, that's going to be something bad for Orb. We did see Lee Sin, unfortunately, getting knocked down the line of Curse. Meanwhile, Akali has just been farming in the top top lane. So Orb is going to try to put a stop to this one, but Westrice, he's got moves, so he's going to be able to juke away from this. Curse, although pursuing on this one, potentially want to catch everyone out of position, but a flash goes down, Dark Binding on Denied Jackie over here. Meanwhile, looks like a zone out from Elements and St. Vicious over here. Zanya's Hourglass has been popped, a lot of damage going out. There's the Karthus ultimate and the Hemo Plague. Who's going down first? Element's going to flash out of there, but Yuzuki will pick up a kill on him. Yuzuki double kill as he picks up the kill on St. Vicious. Lee Sin is going to go down, take Karthus out, nowhere near the enemy team. So Karthus will go down. He will pick up the kill on Lee Sin, though. Rest of the team goes in here. Westrice trying to clean up, but he's just too low, hiding in the Twilight Shot. Is not going to do anything to Vladimir's AoE damage, and Urgot will not be able to take 4 members down by himself. A 5-for-1, and Orbit Gaming, they were behind all game. Monte Cristo, what happened?
This is a really shocking reversal, and that's why I kept saying earlier, I'm really interested to see how well Orbit does in these team fights, because they simply have a better composition for dealing this AoE damage. Of course, Niantanso being an exceptionally talented AD carry as well, and we could see there in that last team fight that his repositioning in order to bait Akali out of Twilight Shroud, flash out, and then immediately put a bunch of damage back onto her was really intelligent play by Nien. He is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best AD carries in North America today, as well as one of the most mechanically skilled, one of the only people who plays both Ezreal and Vayne besides Double Lift.
Very interestingly enough, Ezreal did have a Quicksilver Sash on top of Cleanse. So he has 2 ways to escape from any sort of crowd control that Curse is going to be throwing at him, in addition to his Flash and his Arcane Shift we've been talking about all game. So the positioning of that Ezreal in fights is going to make Curse try to overextend and go after the AD carry. We did see Elements and St. Vicious trying to do a good job of zoning everybody out in order to let Nijaki and Westrice try to pick out the characters that they wanted to, but because Ezreal has such powerful repositioning techniques for himself, he's able to get out of there, and then the fight just kind of deteriorated for Curse once those AoE ultimates hit the rest of the team.
Right, and it really shows Nien's thought process as well, because he's going to have to choose whether he uses that Cleanse or whether he uses that QSS. Of course, he's going to save the QSS for things like the Urgot ult, and use Cleanse for more standard forms of CC like Maokai.
Oh, we do have Meanwhile, Nijaki's going to go back. Is he going to buy that Abyssal Scepter? And, oh, he has the Blasting Wand already, so, well, it looks like I'm not going to be a rich man due to Monte Cristo today. However, it is going to be a very powerful tool. As we mentioned already, the Abyssal Scepter going to be very effective against the double AP composition that Orbit Gaming does have, but is it going to be enough to let Curse out of this hole? Because they did have a very large advantage. Now Orbit Gaming slowly prying it away from them. Of course, the triple GP10 build on St. Vicious, in addition to the kills and the farm that Curse Gaming has, is going to help them keep the gold lead pretty close at this point, a little less than 2,000 gold apiece. Orb does only have a 1 kill advantage, and towers are pretty much even, but Curse, they're marching down the mid lane like it's a Curse parade, Monte Cristo.
A cursed parade. That sounds really ominous, Tom.
I don't know, man. I was a big My Chemical Romance fan in high school. It might just be coming out right now.
And yeah, Curse now putting pressure on this mid turret. Looks like Orbit a little bit out of position. They were kind of spread all the way through their bottom jungle and bot lane. Nien getting a little bit of damage, but mitigated by that black shield from Morgana.
I think that's what Curse wants to do. If they all group up and catch Orb out of position, they can really pick off targets. Like you said in Champion Select, having Urgot swap somebody crucial is going to be devastating. If their AoE comp is not completely together, it won't deal the maximum damage. So Curse, very smart, keeping themselves together, and if Orb is split, just going for a quick push. Did not get the tower out of that mid lane push. If they did, it would have been a great success, but ooh, look at that. Ezreal and Lee Sin trying to get aggressive onto Maokai there. Rest of Curse going to be sulking right over here. Baron has respawned, Monte Cristo. So this could be the next potential fight. Is Curse going to wind up having a very bad position like last time, or are they going to be a little bit more patient with this one and wait for Orb to come to them first?
Yeah, and by the way, it looks like Westrice has picked up a Guardian Angel on that Akali, so opting for some more survivability instead of damage. They are convinced, they have had Orbit low at the end of the last couple fights, so they are convinced that Akali should just be doing more damage over time. Rather than burst damage up front, it will be more successful to their strategy and winning these fights.
Curse, realizing they're on the opposite side of the map from where they spawned, are going to try to just bait out the fact that this tower is very low. Ooh, looks like St. Vicious wanted to try to catch that Dark Binding, but he did not at all. Silence going down on Alistar, as you mentioned before. Soraka is going to be able to keep Alistar from initiating as long as that infuse is up. It looks like just a little bit of a dance back and forth. We have the red team on the blue side, the blue team on the red side. There's the initiative from high. Looks like that Maokai is going to go in for a twisted advance. Alistar ultimate pops as well. Akali's trying to take down Soraka right here. Is now on to Ezreal. In the meantime, we have over here Karthus. There's a Vladimir with a Zanya's Hourglass as well in the middle of everything. He is taking a lot of damage. The heals will finally go down there to Maokai. Ezreal is eventually going to pick off Alistar as the rest of the teams try to reposition from this one. Nijaki's super low. Ezreal picks up a kill on Akali. Not able to finish that one off. And now Curse scattering in 3 different directions. Orb still has 4 members of their team. Curse very low with only 3, and another fight going to Orb.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to take Baron, excuse me, and a turret going to go ahead and execute Cop. Actually, he had to make a dash for it as he was being chased by High. Let's see if they actually go for this Baron. Lee Sin should be able to tank it. It's a question of whether Nien can put out enough damage. He does have that Bloodthirster and that Phantom Dancer. Not as much damage as he could with an Infinity Edge, but we'll see if they're actually going to take that risk. And yes, they are going in for it. So I think they should be able to get it with some alacrity. And you know, Cop just trying to kill himself up there so that he didn't give Orbit any more gold. And that bizarre engagement, Tom, I don't know if I've ever seen a reverse engagement in mid lane like that in my life.
No, definitely not, at least while towers were up, regardless of that. Curse Gaming, of course, has been known to really do interesting plays like that, get very, very aggressive. We saw them do that against Dignitas in an earlier tournament, where Dignitas had their entire base down and Curse kept trying to backdoor them, and Dignitas wound up winning because of this. So sometimes the Wunderlust and Bloodlust of Curse get the best of them, and now Orbit Gaming just seem to have a better handle on that and are responding flawlessly right now. So they are taking the lead in kills, 14-12, gold advantage about a solid 3K. Tower is still pretty much even, so right now everything is playing into the way Orb wants to. We're going to have to see how they transition to try to take the fight to Curse now.
Yeah, and of course, the Orbit's ultimate's almost back up, so they will be able to engage. Hemoplague back up now, and Wish should be back up in just a matter of seconds, so they will be able to engage successfully again. And a critical thing happened that last fight, which is that Westrice both lost his Guardian Angel and died, so it'll be several more minutes before Westrice has that GA up again, and that will mean all the difference in the next team fight.
And the one thing is, if Akali can't run in there and chase after Ezreal and take him down, if Ezreal's able to take down Akali while Akali's trying to assassinate him, that is not a very strong Akali. Akali wants to be able to go into that AD carry. Even if it's an Ezreal, she can chase him because of her ultimate. That Shadow Dash is going to be very, very a powerful tool against him, but still, between him and Soraka, it's been able to take down Westrice in these fights. So Westrice, not the same kind of farm that you would expect from him. Of course, going for that Guardian Angel, like you said, they want him to survive the fights to try to clean up, but I don't think he has the damage to do it right now.
No, I really don't think he does, and now that his method of surviving is down for the next few minutes, we should see Orbit try and take advantage of this and make a hard push, take out the rest of these outer turrets, and get their lead a little more secure. They are up 5,000 gold right now, so the gold swings in this game just wildly oscillating from one team to another.
Yes, indeed. So we do have something coming out from Orb, which is very, very smart, despite the fact that it's into the later stages of the game and both teams are going to be getting Oracle's Elixirs like crazy. Actually, taking a look at Curse, I don't see Oracle's Elixir on anybody from their team. So Orb doing a really good job of aggressively warding, making sure that every time they go out, they have wards in their inventory. We see wards in the river, we see wards in the enemy jungle. They're making sure they have every single outlet covered, because Curse has been constantly trying to catch them out of position. You talked about the Urgot ultimate a long, long time, and how they can actually use that to catch people out of position and force advantages in their favor. Of course, Alistar at the headbutt and pulverize, going to reposition like crazy, be able to like kick everybody for a field goal across an entire football field now. So Orb covering their backs and continuing this aggressive push now in the mid lane. They have Baron. They want to make sure they use this effectively. But the thing is, Karthus with that wall doing a pretty good job zoning out. Urgot has a lot of poke, and Curse not exactly letting them in the front door.
But we have to look at top and bottom lane right now. The minion wave is going in Orbit's favor, so they should be able to take those turrets with some ease in just a few moments. So they will have an advantage there if they can take out those remaining outer turrets. In the meantime, they're just trying to keep Curse occupied here in mid.
Yep, actually, it's a lot of spills going down, but nothing too much coming out. There's a Dark Binding landing on Cop. Ooh, a Ghost from Vladimir. Hemoplague's absolutely nothing right there. That is going to initiate elements to go in there with a headbutt pulverize. Pops the ultimate. Zanya's Hourglass and the ultimate from Nabu Puber actually hitting nobody. Elements kiting everybody on the team. Nijak is going to try to pop an ultimate. Yuzuki will take down Alistar, but look at the damage from Curse now. Maokai is going to pick up a kill on Soraka. It looks like Nabu Puber is getting extremely low. Ezreal potentially getting caught right here. A lot of damage going out. Westrice in the meantime cleans up Morgana. Urgot will take down Ezreal. Lee Sin winds up finishing up Akali after that one, but still a fight in favor of Curse and a fight they needed to win. That was just very, very impressive right there. Curse being able to go and defend properly. Tits a 3 for 2 in favor of them right there. So very, very nice. They're actually going to slowly call their way back into this one. Not necessarily a game-changing push like Orb has had in the past couple times, but still, that is the defense they needed, and they are still in this game, showing that if they cooperate in a team fight, they could do this. Orb, not exactly the best coordination in that fight. Chasing around an ultimated Alistar, that's not what you want to do. He's not going to go down easily, not take a lot of damage, and looks like Elements are just able to kite the entire team of Orb to where Curse wanted them to in that
Yeah,
play.
and the big problem there, as you noticed right off the bat, was Yuzuki completely airballed that Hemo Plague. And at that point, that's when Orbit needs to press that eject button. They should have just aborted that fight entirely and gone and tried to take out some of the outer turrets, because at that point they can no longer deal with Curse's damage. They need that damage amplification for the rest of their AoE in order to win these team fights.
We had the Hemo Plague whiffing absolutely everybody. The Morgana ultimate did not land on anyone as well. Now, Westrice has his Guardian Angel up. The next fight could be very, very beneficial for Curse. He has an additional Blasting Wand, starting to deal a little bit more damage. We did see in the meantime that Urgot has a Maul the Malmortis in addition to his Frozen Heart and Brutalizer. So he is reaching that very, very tanky Urgot build. The next step from tankiness is damage and potentially a Guardian Angel on him as well. Curse, if they continue to hang on like they did and defend properly, next Baron could be the deciding factor, and they could have a lot of late game item builds. They could claw their way back into this one. It's a very back and forth matchup, Monty.
This is such an entertaining game to watch, Tom. It is a treat to be watching this game right now. I'm on tenterhooks, man. I still don't know who's going to win, because we've seen now that Curse still can win a team fight if Orbit makes some mistakes, and Curse plays it really intelligently. A great engage there by Curse to basically capitalize on the over-aggression of Orbit. So we're just in for a treat of a game, and I still have no idea who's going to win here. At the 35-minute mark, there is not a clear lead now that the Baron buff is down on Orbit.
Yep, and there is not a lot of wards down on this map either. I believe Orbit Gaming has a ward over here in Curse's base. They have a ward over here by Curse's blue, and another ward over here leading up towards the Baron from the blue. So still not a lot of vision here. That does mean this can be very dangerous for both teams to push out too far. We do see teams grouping up, staying with each other so they do not get caught out of position. It's going to be very, very important for Orb. I don't know how many times we talked about it, but Curse has the team composition to catch someone out of position, like this Soraka that could be very dangerously warding over here with an Oracle's Elixir as well.
And let's actually check out Curse's items real quick. As you can see, Saint Vicious, he has now picked up a Quicksilver Sash as well. And also Elements, if you check him out, his first activatable item as a support is going to be Locket of the Iron Solari. And that is going to be able to very, very easily deal with some of the AoE damage that Orbit is putting out. So a great item choice there, but not one that you usually see on supports.
No, but I love it a lot. Of course, it's going to be able to pop that shield for everybody on the team. Like you said, lots and lots of beneficiaries for that AoE composition that Orbit Gaming is running right there. Very heads-up item choice by Elements as well. Elements, you know, you want to be a little more heads up about where you're running. There's an entire team of Orbit Gaming waiting in that bush as well. Sapling could potentially scout this one out if they do make a move, but they're just going to back off right now. Baron has been down for Orbit Gaming for a couple minutes. We're probably going to see that coming up within the next minute or a couple seconds right here. There's going to be a point of contention. Say Vicious face check, and Bush is not what you want to do. If we have a ward over there, so you did see Orbit Gaming, and now just a little bit of a poke war. Baron has respawn. Orb is on the aggressive right here. Curse is going to try to contest this one, and I don't know. It worked for them on the defense. We're going to see if Curse can be a little offensive here and how this fight's going to go.
Yeah, and double Zonias as well for Orbit. So this is going to be a really long-lasting team fight, especially since Westrice's GA has gotten back up. So any team fight that we're going to see is probably going to be dragging on for some time. Nobody, I don't think, is really going to be able to burst the other one, and it's just going to be a battle of attrition and who can get AoE down for the longer period of time.
And the thing is, Westrice and Akali, actually a lot of aggression going on. Elimination going very, very low. Look at the Qs coming out from Urgot. Lee Sin and Morgana going to go in here. Looks like no ultimate going down yet. Morgana wants to get a good one on everybody. Maokai ultimate goes down right there. There's been knocking up in the air from Alistar. Alistar's going to pop the ultimate. There's the Zonias in the ultimate, tagging not Westrice. Nijaki does go down to 9, but now Westrice is going to be able to run in there, deal a lot of damage. Ezreal tries to get out of the way. There's a double kill from Cardless, take down the 80 and the support. Westrice trying to deal as much damage to Lee Sin as possible. Looks like Saint Vicious is going to chase down Nubby Pooh Bear, Yuzuki, and Hai, the only ones left. Westrice, Guardian Angel's still up and is going to take down Lee Sin. Now we have 4 members of Curse going in. Twisted Advance down onto Yuzuki. That is a lot of damage. Westrice getting low, will live, and an ace for Curse.
What an impressive play right there. And by the way, Tom, guess what's back up? It's Baron.
Baron.
So we're going to see them go and head over there immediately. They should have the damage to take it out. It will take them a while, but they have a nice leisurely, basically 30 seconds, considering that Nien is going to be the only threat to contesting this Baron. And my God, Tom, that's going to put Curse back in the lead in this game.
I don't know, man. I see Curse with the driver's seat early on, an 8-0 lead. Basically throwing it away, giving Orb every single utility they need to come back into this game, and Curse giveth, Curse taketh away. They're going to want to take this Baron buff down. Is going to go, there we go. So now Curse does have a Baron buff. They have basically evened out the gold, even a slight couple hundred gold advantage at this point in time, and you could keep just trying to count down either team in this matchup, Monty, but they keep bouncing back up, and it's a very, very awesome match and very hard to cast.
I mean, especially with how long these fights are lasting and the teams just kind of scatter and disperse. Sorry, guys, if we can't get it all on the camera. It is really hard given the nature of the team fights that we're seeing.
Yeah, and especially the fact that we have an Ezreal who tries to run away from the fight, and a Kali who chases after everybody, a Lee Sin who jumps around everywhere, and then a Vladimir and a Morgana and a Karthus, oh my, trying to get in the middle of everything. So still positioning, very, very key. Of course, we noted this, but the fact that both teams were getting Oracle's Elixirs, trying to catch one another out of position. Even Orb thinking it's very important to get double wards over here in this bush over here. So double wards, new meta right there coming out from Orb. But still, now Curse, with that advantage, with the Baron buff, they are the aggressor in this fight. Best part about that fight, Akali didn't burn Guardian Angel.
And guess what, Tom? 40 minutes into this game, dead even in gold. Dead even!
Oh man, dead even indeed. We're going to have to see if that dead translates into one of these teams, as Curse, like I said, on the aggressive right now, clearing out enemy buffs, going back. They bought up a couple of items, taking a look at the builds right now. Akali has a needlessly large rod in addition to that blasting wand. A death cap could be very deadly on her. She'll be amplifying her ability power ridiculous amounts. Another very low tower over here for Orb Gaming is going to be going down in favor of Curse. So now a 5-4 tower advantage, a slight 1k or so gold advantage, and 3 kills for Curse. Baron buff is up. Now it's their turn to sit out in front of a base and try to let Orb defend against them.
And Nijaki really carrying his team right now. If you've noticed, he's almost at 400 CS, which is about 150 more than Nubby Pooh Bear. And you'll see he has 4,000 gold difference. That's a death cap.
That's a lot. That is an entire Swedish bank account.
That is an entire... Swedish, huh?
Swiss, offshore. It's an offshore bank. I don't know. I obviously bank in America, so... But still, that is a lot of money. Like you said, that is an entirety of a death cap and then some. So that is just how far ahead of Nubby Pooh Bear and items that Karthus is going to be in this lane. So still, a lot of aggression coming out. I don't know what Orb is doing over here. They're having a party in their own bush here. They're probably just seeing where Curse is going to go with that one. But still, just trying to wait out that Baron buff, the item advantage, the gold advantage, and everything. I mean, Curse does have an overall gold advantage, but slightly. But like you said, looking at just the diagnostics, I'm going to say, of where the gold is going to everybody. Ezreal, the main winner on Orbit Gaming side, whereas, like you said, Karthus, still 2,000 gold ahead of that Ezreal. That's the entire difference of the team's gold right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is that is a very, very narrow margin that we're seeing here for such a late game. And of course, the kills still down 20-17 in Curse's favor. So they're going to go ahead and probably do what Orbit should have done about 10 minutes ago, which is pick up all the rest of these outer turrets and increase their lead to about 2,000. Still not really a big margin at this at this late stage of the game. 2,000 very easily overcome by Orbit with another good team fight. I think they're probably just going to pull back. I think they're going to have to wait just a little bit longer in order to engage. They can't easily win a poke siege against Orbit due to those dark bindings and the sustain from Soraka and the mystic shots coming off of Ezreal.
And the one thing is what Curse did, they cleared out all the objectives. They wound up taking down all the buffs. Dragon is still up. That is the only objective left on the map. They took down all the buffs. They have the enemy blue buff. They have the enemy red buff. We saw them just taking right there. Going back to buy up some items. It looks like Urgot picking up himself a last whisper, so he's going to be shredding through armor, dealing a lot of damage. Akali, she's got the death cap, so she's going to be dealing a lot of damage in and of her own. Taking a look at Karthus once again. Basically full build right here. He's got himself an Abyssal Scepter, a pair of Sorcerer's Shoes, a Rod of Ages, a full stack, Zanya's Void Staff, and a Death Cap. 779 ability power damage. That Baron buff is almost up. It is going to expire right now, so they don't have that for this push up the middle, but they are ready to try to take the fight to Orb.
And yeah, we'll have to see what their game plan is. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and clear out Dragon, if I'm not mistaken. Continue to work on their global gold. Get Nijaki just a smidgen more fed. And I'm really surprised that St. Vicious has managed to get so many kills. By the way, guys, while we're in a little interlude here, it is not Liquid. Liquid is Curse's manager and former support player. St. Vicious is using his account because he's having issues with his own currently. So fear not, that is St. Vicious. But getting that many kills on Maokai in a game, not very common, especially when you go Shirelia's Randuin.
And especially when he had an extremely passive early game. He didn't actually go in and get those kills at the beginning stages. stages of the game where Maokai is going to be dealing a lot of damage early on with his spells, that's all team fight kills. That's all ultimates. That's all twisted advances to snag someone trying to run away. That's basically all of late game Maokai kills right there. So very impressive coming out from St. Vicious. Probably one of those kills on someone like Nijaki or someone like Cop, but still, if they have the kills, they have a little bit of an advantage regardless, and it is going to let them pick up that Randuin's Omen, the Shirelia's Reverie, like you said. So they have a lot of activated items. He has a Quicksilver Sash of his own, so that's going to be really beneficial to escaping Morgana binding or continuing to chase after an Ezreal in these cases. So still, Curse, very impressive game coming out from them. Orb, they're down, but they're not out right now. It does look like they are in a bit of a defensive posture right now, but still, anything can happen at this point, Monte Cristo.
Anything can happen indeed, and both teams actually picking up a Malmortius. High building into it right now. Dark Binding going down on St. Vicious in that brush, but no problem. But also the Mod Malmortius being built on High, in addition to the one already on Urgot, so you can see that both teams itemizing heavily to deal with the AP damage coming off of each other. This is a really unusual kind of like all AP game that we're seeing. I haven't seen a game where both teams were so heavily dedicated to AP in quite some time, Tom.
We do have a Warmog's armor in addition to potentially a Maul Malmortius coming from Lee Sin, so we have, like you said, just a lot of magic resistance being built. Of course, Warmog's armor is going to give Lee Sin a lot of effective HP combining with his magic resistance. Currently has 160. It's only going to increase on top of getting a Black Shield from Morgana and then the shield from the Maul Malmortius. That is a lot of resistance against magic damage. Lee Sin's going to need that, though. He is pretty much the tankiest character on their team. He is going to be the one, like you said, with that kick, try to reposition people, try to get in the middle of the fight and disrupt the rest of Curse Gaming. Both teams, though, prioritizing Baron again. The Baron did go down from Curse, so now we're probably going to have that Baron fight be another very, very large point of contention. At this point in the game, Monte Cristo, I think it's pretty safe to say whoever kills the enemy team at Baron is probably going to wind up winning in that fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because the issue, especially with Curse, is that I feel like their team comp right now, they're pretty much, if they want to engage, they're going to have to engage underneath turret with that turret damage because of the poke coming off of Orbit. So, you know, they're going to need to win a fight out in the open, really, in order to take down more turrets while Orbit is at full strength. Either that or they're going to have to catch somebody up, and Orbit splitting. This could be really bad for them. And St. Vicious going to Shirelia's and Twisted Advance in. Take it over, Tom.
Yeah, we got a wall of pain going out from Karthus. St. Vicious taking a lot of damage. Does actually use the Randuin's Omen to try to get out of there. So I guess he, with the Shirelia's Reverie, didn't tag the rest of his team. Wanted to take a little bit more damage than he wanted to. They did, however, force Orbit back around this Baron buff. They think that Curse is going to be going for it. Curse is going to go straight for the base right here, Monte Cristo. Like I said, they love going for bases. They love trying to deal damage over there and actually baiting Orb back into this one. They have a lot of ward coverage, so they know exactly where Orb is, but no engagement coming out from Curse.
Yeah, that was actually an amazing disengage there in order to prevent Curse from taking out any of the members of Orbit. They did split a little, unfortunately, there. I think it was a bit of a miscommunication, and St. Vicious taking full advantage of that with that Shirelia's into the Flash Twisted Advance, but unfortunately for Curse, they could not pick up any of the members for Orbit, and now the Baron dance, it shall continue.
Yes, but St. Vicious did take about half of his HP in damage. Elements is slowly healing himself back up, almost at full HP, so they could potentially be here to contest this from Orb. Orb with a little bit of upper hand because, like you said, they did disengage beautifully from that that advance from Maokai right there, for a lack of a better word. But now we have a wall of pain. Look at the damage on Lemon Nation. Half his HP absolutely gone. Yuzuki getting tagged by Westface right here. Here's the fight. Elements pops in with the ultimate. Zanya's Hourglass and ultimate coming down from Morgana. Tags only Alistar, it looks like right there. Westface will take her down when she comes out of the Zanyas. Soraka getting extremely low, being chased down. Westface is going to die, but Guardian Angel does go off. There's a Karthus ultimate. Karthus not actually in the fight at all, trying to run away. Ezreal ultimate will tag Westface for a kill. Zanya's Hourglass going down from Yuzuki. He's getting very, very low. Is he going to take Nijaki with him? Yes, he does. Ezreal with a double kill in the meantime, taking out a couple more members of Curse, but now it's Urgot and Alistar against the world. Alistar will take down Ezreal right there as he does take down Urgot, but still, Lee Sin and Soraka survive, so still, favorable engagement for Orb.
And they have pulled back in. They were about 3k gold down. Now they are less than 800. And the support war going to happen as two supports and a tanky Lee Sin with no damage survive. So not really sure. Orb High should be able to fill up the rest of his Warmogs from this. So he actually has filled it up a couple minutes ago when I checked. He was only at 263. Has filled up that Warmogs. So again, we're just going to have to wait. And guess what, Tom? These guys are going to revive. And what's going to happen? They're going to go straight back to Baron. Yeah. So we're going to see it all over again, folks.
Yeah, and like I said, whoever won that Baron fight was probably going to win the game. It didn't necessarily count the fact that they could take out all the damage dealers and leave only the supports and the tanky characters. Do have Orb actually starting Baron right here. I don't know if this is a bait or a what, but they're going to be going at it right now. Lee Sin and Soraka trying to take it down before the rest of Curse spawns. It could be very, very dicey, though. Curse is going to have a little bit more of an advantage. They did die a little bit quicker in the fight. We do have, meanwhile, Morgana does pop up. Akali, however, popping up on the side of Curse right here. So a very interesting choice from Orb. It's not like Ai's taking a lot of damage. Soraka is running very, very low on mana here. Got to see what happens. Looks like Curse just completely oblivious to this fact is happening. No ward coverage whatsoever. Element's going to try to poke his head up here. Does place a ward down. Sees Nubby Pooh Bear coming over. So now Curse knows something is up. But Orb has already disengaged. So I guess giving us something to talk about while everyone was respawning.
I'm actually really worried about this engagement for Orb. It didn't really do anything to Baron. If Curse had gone straight in there, they would have just died. And now they have to blue pill, which will give a short window for Curse to take this Baron. And of course, they will be able to take it very quickly with this super fed Karthus. And we are now in a pause. Not sure what's going on, guys. I will turn on my chat so that I can see without Tom pulling it onto the mainstream. So let's just take a look, and we will be, let's see here. Elements is lagging extremely hard. Seems interesting because they're all in the same house together.
It's very interesting, though. It does see that I saw Elements placing 3 wards down by Baron. I know I was prioritizing the fact that we wanted to have Vision to be a very, very big thing in this match, but I didn't think Elements wanted to use all 3 wards on Baron buff. So unfortunately, a little bit of lag coming out right here. But ladies and gentlemen, this gives us time to recap. Both teams with over 70,000 gold. We have about a 50-minute game on our hands right now, and it's going back and forth constantly. Even in this last team fight, everybody died.
And it looks like we are going to be going now. Play is resuming in 5, 3, 2, 1.
You skip 4.
I skipped 4.
You don't like 4.
I messed it up, Tom. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. But that does actually transition very well because the first team to mess up in this game could wind up costing it. Of course, it's a best of 3, so that means we're going to have to move on to game number 2. But after you've been
wait, Tom. I'm sorry. Are you saying the first team that pulls a Monte Cristo is going to lose this game?
The first team that pulls a ham sandwich is going to wind up losing this game, Monte Cristo. So we're going to have to see how Orb is prioritizing this Baron once again. Kurt's probably playing a little bit defensively because the fact that Elements was the one lagging a little bit, so they do pull back. But still, not a lot of aggression. Both teams, they're afraid right now because neither of them, after an almost hour-long game, wants to be the one to lose and have to go on to game 2 after the game was so close and back and forth.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, it's really, of course, more frustrating to lose the long games, the games where you know that both teams made mistakes, and it's very disheartening to come back from that. And it will give the winner, I think, a little bit of a mental advantage. To play so long and focus so hard and then lose all the same is just very draining.
And with the personalities on Team Curse, I think that's what Orb wants to do. They don't want to be super aggressive. They want the fact that if they do triumph over Curse, we do know that Curse has a little bit more of a rage personality, so that could work in their favor. A little bit of a mind game going into game number 2, summoners out there watching. But still, we have a little bit of a dance going in the mid lane over here, not over by Baron. It's a different of a waltz, a little bit of a slower one going on here. But still, the poke composition from Orb is letting them do this. Curse has to be getting restless right now. They want to catch someone out of position, but they can't really contest with a poke. If both teams kind of stay together like this, then Curse is not going to be able to engage down on Orb. Although they do see Vladimir up top here, Vladimir is immediately going to come back down because Curse does see a window of opportunity. They're going to run over here, clear out some wards, and now that's technically a position advantage for Curse as they are the ones over by the Baron pit. Just Orb, a little bit of a slip up right there, gives Curse superior positioning. And
let's take a look again at that CS. Nijaki now fully itemized with 450 CS, and Nien right behind him with almost 400. However, Nien does have the most gold in this game at a staggering 18,800. So you can see that both of these players fully itemized right now. Last Whisper, Eye-Edge, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Zerker Greaves, and Quicksilver Sash. So it's just elixirs from here on out.
Ooh, Orb is going to be the one to engage Baron first. Curse knows exactly what is up. Orb is going to disengage as soon as he sees Curse coming in. There's a ward right there. Sapling goes down. Morgana's Black Shield goes off. Flash, ultimate, tagging only Karthus have to flash out of there. Elements gets a pulverized down on the rest of the members of Orb. There goes the Twisted Advance from St. Vicious. Zani's Hourglass has been popped. Ezreal ultimate goes down as well. Looks like Alistar's trying to zone out Ezreal. Alistar will go down, but Nijaki takes down Soraka. Ezreal will pick up a kill on Karthus. Karthus ultimate going down. Akali takes down Lee Sin. Look at the damage. Zanya's Hourglass and Vladimir will not sustain through that damage there. Triple kill coming out from 9 in the meantime, though, but we still have St. Vicious taking down Yazuki. It looks like right now, though, that it is going to be Orb coming out on top. That is a pentakill for Ezreal as Orb takes that fight decisively. There's a Morgana and an Ezreal, a pentakill. I am so excited.
Oh my god, Tom. This game is easily one of the best games I've seen in the last couple of months. My god, is this close. And Nien coming up big, 15, 5, and 10, picking up that pentakill. He doesn't even have anything to do with that gold. I think he probably would have been better served actually giving some of those kills to his teammates.
I don't know, though. It is going to give them a huge advantage right here. Still about a half a minute before anyone on Curse is up. Look at the damage from Ezreal. Morgana, of course, is going to be contributing with a couple auto attacks still, but that is going to be a tower. That is going to be an inhibitor. Could potentially be a game right now. Look at the damage on the ultimate and the hits from Ezreal. 889 going down onto these minions, taking down that inhibitor, taking down the towers now. Elements and Nightjackie are going to be up in a little bit, so I don't think Orb can end the game right now. They are going to have to pull back, taking down both turrets right now. Is Curse going to be able to survive this one? Going in with a headbutt. There's the ultimate coming down from Morgana. It's back already. Alistar's trying to take down Ezreal, but won't happen. Nightjackie in the meantime will take down Morgana. So now Orb is going to have to peel off of this one. So, whew, pentakill from Ezreal. Baron is still up. Curse loses the first inhibitor of the game.
And you can see what Navi was trying to do there was actually to get that stun off in order to allow Nien to just take the Nexus. That didn't work, and that is probably actually going to give Curse this Baron.
Yes, indeed. So Curse, that is the kind of advantage they need to get back into this one. Of course, their mid lane is going to be pushing a little bit, but still, at this point in time, it's not that big of a deal considering how beefy everybody is. Westrace, once again, the Guardian Angel is up. They're actually not going to be going after that Baron. Instead, they're going to be trying to chase down Ezreal. Does have an Oracle's Elixir and a lot of kills on him. Ooh, a sapling and a Twisted Revenge down onto Ezreal. He is going to have to try to get out of here. Randuin's Omen goes down. Now there's a swap coming out there in addition to a flash from Urgot. Ezreal in a very bad spot, trying to deal as much damage as possible. That is a very large killing spree going to Urgot.
Yeah, and that will be definitely a Baron now from Curse. I believe that they're going to try and move up there presently without Nien. He's pretty much Orbit's entire team right now. As you can see, you know, Morgana having 1 kill, Lee Sin having 2, Vladimir being the closest with 7, but it looks like they might just try and end this or take down an inhibitor in response instead. We have Orb High complaining about lag in chat right now, so that will be going into the next pause as Curse knocks on the doorstep of Orbit.
That is just, once again, back and forth in this game. You can't count anyone out at any point in time. They had Orb going down, knocking on the door of Curse, got a pentakill on Ezreal. Super exciting. I know I probably broke into a prepubescent voice for that one, but that's just how awesome it was. And then they go and try to end the game right then and there. They want to try to zone out Curse as quickly as possible. They wind up killing them. They wind up killing Ezreal, hunting him down after all of that. So now right back into the game. So Curse potentially going to take down an inhibitor. Like you said before, they're in prime position for taking down Baron if they decide to just peel back off of that one. No AD carry for Orb Gaming. Like you said, he has 15 kills. 15 out of 26 is a lot.
Yeah,
I know that much.
Tons. And let's take a look right now about the situation that Orbit finds themselves in currently, as well as Curse. We have High reconnecting right now, so hopefully he has resolved his lag issues, guys. We're sorry about the delays in this game. It is just building up the excitement as we sit here just with bated breath trying to see where this game goes. And how do you, he's left again, but how do you feel about Curse's choice right now to try and take down this inhibitor as opposed to going directly to Baron?
It's an interesting choice, and I think it's going to prolong the game. What they want to do is they want to equalize the lanes so no lane is going to push and they don't have to worry about being on the defensive. Like we've been saying all game, Curse is a very aggressive team. They want to have some sort of control, and they love doing the Baron dance. I don't know why they love doing it so much. They're all about positioning, all about aggression, and all about dancing around that Baron. If they equalize the inhibitors, then it's basically like neither team is taking one down. Both lanes are going to be naturally pushing super minions against super minions, so neither lane is really going to advance, and it's going to continue to let them pressure this Baron fight area. Interestingly enough, they haven't been winning team fights like this. The only team fights they've won are in their own base. So I'm very perplexed as to why they go to try to equalize the lanes rather than get the Baron buff and let the lane naturally push to them where they've actually had an advantage.
And now we are back in. They're just going to go ahead and put the pressure here on this turret.
Yes, indeed. They will take the turret down like it's absolutely nothing. Inhibitor is going to fall very, very shortly after that. Looks like Ezreal is still down for another 35 seconds. Transitioning to the bottom lane, though. Didn't realize this tower was at about half health right now. So that is going to be another prime target for them. They could potentially take 2 inhibitors and then put Orbit Gaming on the defensive. So that is a very, very good idea coming out from Curse. If we had known that tower is very, very low, Monte Cristo, I'm sure we would have pointed that one out. But still, Curse now with a little bit of an advantage. They have 2 naturally pushing lanes down onto Orb, and like you said, that Baron is still up, but Westrice not done, wants to go in on Lemon Nation. Yuzuki trying to get a little bit of damage down there as well. Dark Shield from Morgana, tries to hold any aggression at all, and now with Ezreal slowly coming up, Curse is going to referee out of there.
And the other thing that we forgot to mention as well was that the Nexus turrets are down for Curse. So any pushing from super minions could have actually ended the game all by itself or forced Curse to go back. So that was probably the right choice in that situation.
Yeah, now they have two naturally pushing lanes, and look at the patience from Curse. They just want to try to catch someone out of position. They want to engage in the team fight. If they take 1 or 2 people down, that is going to be their signal to try to rush Baron or the enemy base.
Lemon Nation!
Oh no, you get caught by a wall of pain and a twisted advance, headbutt, pulverize combo, everything going down. All the damage. St. Vicious picking up a kill on Soraka. Vladimir's going to take down Karthus, but Karthus doing all the damage on top of Orb. Double kill comes out for St. Vicious. Looks like Ezreal is going to go down, but he has a Guardian Angel, so he comes back up. So much damage already onto Westrace and St. Vicious. High will take down St. Vicious, but Westrace takes down Ezreal. That is a lot of damage being lost, but Vladimir now the one cleaning up. He will take down Akali. It is now an Urgot and an Alistar against a Vladimir and a Lee Sin. Urgot goes down. Elements is the only one left. And the game still goes on.
Optimus Tom, this game is ridiculous.
I don't even have words to describe this right now. Both teams over 80,000 gold. The one thing that is going to happen now, though, is Lee Sin, 291 damage. Vladimir, of course, he has only 100 auto attack damage, but it's 2 champions to 1 right now.
And they're going into the naked Nexus. Do you think they can get it, Tom? They don't have very much damage.
I don't know why they're stopping to kill these minions. I guess they want the lane to push after them. They really just want to try to take this down as quickly as possible. Element's trying to do everything he can to stop this, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Karthus is down for 15 more seconds. Look at him being knocked back and forth, gets kicked back by Lee Sin. The Nexus is going to go down. Yuzuki and Hai have done it as they take the game from Curse after almost an hour.
Tom, that is one of the most exciting League of Legends games I have ever seen.
That was a very impressive showing from both teams. Not only to be in the game that long, to have a little bit of lag issue going on as well, but still, back and forth, nail biter all the way to the end. We wind up getting a game where Orb comes in and takes the victory with basically a backdoor. And that's it.
Yeah, we're going to go to commercials for you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Now we have Orbit up 1-0 in this matchup, and we'll be back right afterwards with the NOS replay.